gorgeous, but we've added some showers to the forecast for Saturday. I'll help you plan around the showers for Saturday, and I'll let you know when highs climb into the 90s.
Talks to begin. Negotiations between the U.S. and Iran are set to start tomorrow morning. The shaky state of the ceasefire in the Middle East ahead of the peace talks.
Climbing prices this morning. New information about how quickly costs are going up. Our first glimpse into the impact the war on Iran is having on what you pay at the grocery store.
Play ball and go bananas. The Savannah Bananas are in Chapel Hill bringing their own brand of baseball to Kenan Stadium. What you need to know if you're planning to be there this weekend.
It'll be a fun time. WRAL News at 8 on Fox 50 starts in about 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Good Friday morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm Kirsten Clark.
And I'm Ken Swin. Listen, starting out cool this morning, but it's going to warm up nicely. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking another summer phenomenon.
Yes, we're looking at a cold front that's going to drop in on us on Saturday. We've been watching this front the last several days, and that front is likely to bring us just a small chance of rain on Saturday. So that's new this morning compared to our forecast yesterday. So just wanted to bring your attention to that. This high pressure system keeps us dry and beautiful today and all day Saturday. But finally, this front will slide in. The high will take care of most of it, but there could be a quick shower that rolls in. We're going to follow that on Futurecast in just a few minutes. Taking a look down Fayetteville Street from our Jimmy V camera, it looks beautiful out there. Still a little on the cool side. It's 45 in the Triangle right now, 46 in Fayetteville, 37 in Roxborough, 45 in Rocky Mount, which is warmer than it was yesterday. We'll climb all the way to 78 this afternoon, and then we're into the 80s over the weekend. We'll talk about when we could see our first 90-degree day of this season at RDU coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, feeling hot, hot, hot. So listen, let's get over to I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Traffic is really jammed up this morning, but that's what you expect this time of the morning, and that southern loop of the Beltline. You're looking at a 5-minute delay, and look at this. It jumped to a 2-minute delay, so things are getting better in that southern loop of the Beltline. Here's where we're really getting a troubled spot right now. The I-40 westbound coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area. We're looking at an 8-minute delay, so keep that in mind as you make your plans this morning coming in from Garner-Johnston County. Maybe you want to take Highway 70 as an alternate route, Garner Road, if you will. To the east of Raleigh, I-87 and Smithfield Road, we can see a jam session going on in the rhythm. It's rather slow this morning, so keep that in mind. You might want to take Highway 97 as an alternate route, depending on where you are this morning. As we widen out the view, here's what we're looking at. You're looking at a 3-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest, just a 2-minute delay if you're coming in from Knightdale and I-87, so things are getting better there. There's that 8-minute I just talked about. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. An SUV was badly damaged in an overnight crash in northern Wake County. It happened just after 11:45 last night at NC 96 and NC 98. And that's near the Franklin County border. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as a tow truck took away an SUV with serious front end damage. We're working to learn if any other vehicles were involved in that crash and if anyone was hurt. This morning, more uncertainty about the situation in the Middle East. Israel's prime minister says there is no ceasefire in Lebanon. Benjamin Netanyahu says he is willing to have direct talks with Lebanon. Iran has insisted Lebanon was part of the deal, and those Israel-Lebanon negotiations are expected next week in D.C. Today, Vice President J.D. Vance will arrive in Pakistan, and he's expected to negotiate with Iranian leaders there tomorrow. Local gas prices are down slightly this morning as the situation in the Middle East fluctuates. AAA's newest data from this morning shows the average in Raleigh is down 1 cent to $3.96. Gas prices are looking similar in Rocky Mount, also at $3.96. And in Durham, Chapel Hill, gas is going for a bit higher at $3.98.
Well, Kirsten, gas prices are among the increases we're all seeing as a result of the war on Iran. Today, the Consumer Price Index will show how the war is affecting inflation overall. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey covering the story for us this morning. Kelsey, economists are predicting the CPI report could show one of the biggest hikes in years.
Yes, Ken, we're just about 30 minutes away from getting more insight into how the war on Iran impacts the prices that we pay here at the grocery store and at the pump. Economists say that inflation is going up because of rising oil prices caused by the war on Iran. Some say today's report could show a month-to-month increase of a whole percentage point. The last time we saw a change that big was back in 2022. How much could it keep going up? Well, that depends on whether the Fed lowers interest rates. The Fed has been keeping them steady recently. So coming up in the next half hour, an economic expert explains why today's inflation may look a little bit different than what we saw 4 years ago. That inflation report is due this morning at 8:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Happening tonight, the Artemis II astronauts will splash down in the Pacific after their trip around the moon. They're expected to land in the ocean off the coast of San Diego. The 10-day mission sent humans to lunar orbit for the first time since 1972. Last night, during a live question and answer session with members of Congress, astronaut Christina Cook talked about her triangle connections.
Well, it's such an honor to speak with you and that you represent Durham. All of my family lives there, and they're all flying to Houston right now, hopefully to watch our splashdown. So Durham is very near and dear to my heart.
So here's how it will unfold. After tonight's splashdown, recovery teams will pick the crew up in helicopters and take them to a Navy ship. There, they'll undergo medical evaluations before going back to shore. You can watch Artemis II return to Earth tonight on WRAL and WRAL's YouTube page. Coverage begins at 8 p.m.
And breaking news here in the WRAL Live Center. We've learned there was a brief lockdown at East Garner Middle School, and that lockdown has now been lifted. It stems from a false report of a gun on campus that came in around 7 o'clock. So here's what we know from Wake Schools and Garner Police. Officers did respond. They searched the school. They did an investigation. The school was in lockdown as a precautionary measure, and officers determined that the subject left the area, and they cannot confirm if that person actually had a gun. So East Garner Middle School now under normal operations. That lockdown has been lifted, and they say there is no threat to the students, the staff, or anyone in that area. But we'll keep working on answers for you and let you know if we learn anything more about this specific incident here at East Garner Middle School.
Our news continues now with the Chapel Hill Carrboro School Board meeting and discussing possible school closures. District leaders presented new demographic data highlighting the rapid population growth in the area and how that affects the total number of schools. At the same time, parents made emotional pleas in the effort to protect their children's schools. 3 elementary schools are already on a closure shortlist announced back in January.
Closing a walkable, diverse, and high-performing school in a growing area does not advance equity. It undermines it.
School board members did not share their opinions on the issue. A final decision on which schools will close is happening in June, but families say the uncertainty is difficult.
Charges were dropped against an Orange County farm owner accused of allowing underage drinking on his property. Dwight Poole was charged with aiding and abetting underage drinking and selling alcohol without a permit. Those charges stem from a May 2nd party where deputies say there were more than 2,500 people in attendance. More than 70 calls were made to 911 that night, and charges against his wife, Rose, were also dropped.
A person in Orange County bitten by an infected cat is being treated for rabies. This happened in Hillsborough near Holiday Park Road. Orange County Animal Services says the cat lived outdoors, but the person who was bitten cared for that cat. A warning this morning from Animal Services that could keep you safe.
These animals are at risk when they're outside. Any mammal can contract rabies. So, of course, cats that are outdoors, predominantly outdoors, can absolutely get rabies. We just don't see it as often.
And this reminder now, Orange County Animal Services holding a low-cost rabies vaccine clinic for pets next week. It's happening Wednesday from 3 in the afternoon until 6 p.m. at Fairview Park in Hillsborough. The rabies shots will cost about $10. You do not need to be an Orange County resident to get your pet vaccinated.
This weekend, the Savannah Bananas will be playing in Chapel Hill. Their games will bring a big influx of people to the town, making it more difficult to navigate. That's where WRAL's Ali Kadlabar joins us on Franklin Street this morning. And Ali, there are road closures planned on UNC's campus.
Yeah, Kirsten, the town of Chapel Hill says that they are preparing for 50,000 visitors. So you can expect a lot of people, traffic, and a lot of stores to have some signs up showing their support for the Savannah Bananas. It's the first time that it's their first appearance in Keenan Stadium and part of their Banana Ball tour. Both games are sold out, and the town of Chapel Hill says that they've been preparing for months. There's expected to be extra traffic around UNC campus and downtown. Also, Stadium Drive is going to be closed from Friday evening through Sunday. Businesses in the area are welcoming the Savannah Bananas and their fans. At least 30 are offering menu specials and deals. The town of Chapel Hill says the Savannah Bananas are already giving the community positive reviews.
They've been really impressed with the amount of community excitement. They've said that this is the most business-involved community we've seen, so we're really excited to have them and really preparing for a good day.
A good weekend all around. The town says that they're expecting these events to bring in tens of millions of dollars to the town. You can read more about this and what you need to know on WRAL.com. Reporting live in Chapel Hill, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
And for full coverage of the Savannah Bananas, you can stick with WRAL News from 4 to 7:30 this evening. We'll have extensive coverage again of the Savannah Bananas visit in Chapel Hill. Everything you need to know about traffic in the area to the basics of Banana Ball.
And the weather looks great for that, except we have a very small chance of some showers on Saturday evening. Coming up, we'll walk through that on Futurecast so you can plan around it. 8:14, Chapel Hill all ready to host the Savannah Bananas this weekend, and definitely looks beautiful right now. Should be pretty for most of the day Saturday, but there is a small chance of some showers Saturday evening. We're going to walk through that coming up in just a little bit. Heading out the door, it's warmer than yesterday, but still chilly. 37 in Roanoke Rapids, 45 in Raleigh, 45 in Wilson, 44 in Goldsboro, 43 in Southern Pines right now. Should be really nice at lunchtime. Temperatures will climb up to almost 70 degrees, so if you have the opportunity to spend some of your lunch hour outside, it should be nice. Our high 78. If you are headed out to the park this evening, our temperatures will be in the low 70s all the way up through 7 o'clock. Warmer temperatures for the weekend. And again, a quick check of our chance for showers Saturday evening. Ken?
Hi, Elizabeth. Happening now in the WRAL traffic center. We've got a real trouble spot on I-40 westbound coming in from Johnston County between the Clayton Bypass and Business 70 right now. You can see what we're talking about there. As we check the sensors this morning, you're looking at an 11-minute delay in just a little while, and it's gotten down to 6 minutes, so things are getting better in that particular area. I'll have another update in less than 10 minutes.
Ken, thank you for those updates. The top candidates for North Carolina's open Senate seat spoke in the Triangle yesterday, and they both focused on affordability. They know North Carolinians want their candidate to address the economy. An Elon University poll showed that 55% of North Carolinians think the economy has gotten worse during President Donald Trump's second term. Whatley has aligned himself closely with Trump and the Trump administration, and we asked him what his plan is to lower costs amid the war in Iran and tariffs.
It comes down to tax policy. It comes down to regulatory policy. It comes down to trade policies. You know, how are we going to create those jobs? And talking to the small businesses, right? Talking to manufacturers, talking to farmers that are the job creators all across the state.
Meanwhile, former Governor Roy Cooper made his own promises, some focused on reducing health care costs.
We can take on insurance companies that are crushing working families with hidden fees and denied claims.
This is a highly watched race that we'll continue to cover closely ahead of November's midterm election.
Well, the city of Raleigh facing a $13 million budget shortfall, and that could lead to an increase in property taxes to cover that gap. City Council getting a budget breakdown outlined the problems. They include declining property tax revenue, employee salary increases, projects like Dix Park. Simply put, the city's costs are outpacing income. The city is going through its budget process and will have the next steps sorted out by the end of June. There's several public hearings planned. It's going to be a gorgeous weekend to get outside.
Feeling like summer almost, actually. And it's time now to take a look at WRAL's Out and About.
Yeah, let's start in Cary. The Pimento Cheese Festival is back. It's happening this Saturday from 11 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon at downtown Cary Park. There will be live music, activities, and tons of food and drink vendors. There's even a chance for you to test out your inner artist with the Pimento Cheese Sculpting Contest.
Yummy. All weekend, the Ideal Home Show will be in Raleigh. You can shop home-related products and services, see displays to inspire your next home projects, and enjoy presentations from home professionals. Anyone who bought tickets for the canceled event back in January can use them this weekend or in September. That runs today through Sunday at the State Fairgrounds. And tomorrow is Raleigh's 4th annual Earth Day Festival. The event features live music, local artists, fun activities, and so much more. You can also get connected with local organizations working to protect the earth. That event is from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday evening at Clouds Brewery and Taproom on Front Street. For more weekend best bets, just visit WRAL.com and search Out and About.
Well, we turn our attention now to the Atlantic hurricane season, now less than 2 months away, and Colorado State issuing its first forecast for the season. Let's bring in meteorologist Grant Skinner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. And Grant, so walk us through what could affect tropical activity around here.
Yeah, I think the El Nino pattern is going to be the biggest impact on our tropical season into the next few months and into the end of the year. Even El Nino is going to have a big impact on our kind of overall global pattern. You can see the forecast from the Colorado State University issued yesterday, slightly below average. So average is 14, 7 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes, all those numbers just slightly below 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes and 2 major hurricanes. Let's take a look at this. These are the probabilities for us to have El Nino conditions. That's that red bar that you see. You can see how much it increases into really the June, July, August timeframe, above an 80% chance of having El Nino conditions. And this map also gives you an idea of kind of what to expect overall with tropical impacts. You can see weaker trade winds out in the Pacific. That means warmer waters, more moisture. Less wind shear for the Pacific, so more tropical activity there, while in the Atlantic basin we have less overall hurricane activity and more wind shear. But remember that seasonal forecast should never have an impact on how you prepare. You're still going to prepare for the hurricane season the same way you always would. We're 52 days away from the hurricane season. This just means that overall, Elizabeth, we could see below average activity due to those El Nino conditions. We're going to watch how that kind of plays out over the next handful of months.
And that's definitely good news. Good explanations about that as well. Of course, we always also know that we see some strong hurricanes sometimes in seasons where we don't have a lot of storms develop. So just one storm can create a lot of damage. But sometimes tropical systems help us out. If they're not doing any damage or flooding, sometimes we can get a nice soaking rain that helps our drought situation, which could still be ongoing at that point. This is a live look at Apex, and we're looking good this morning. Nice and sunny out there, 45 degrees, and our wind is calm. We'll warm up into the 80s this weekend, 78 today, 83 Saturday, and 82 on Sunday. We've been talking about that small chance for showers on Saturday. It's not going to be a big deal, but it's our next weather maker. As a cold front drops in on us from the north, we'll have a few brief showers during the evening on Saturday. It's still going to be a nice day. We don't see this starting until around 5 or 6 p.m. Here's where the front is right now. You can see rain along with that front as the front drops down closer to this high pressure system. High pressure systems in this situation is going to be a nice blocker, and so that will help to weaken it, but it doesn't completely eliminate our chance for rain. So check this out. Saturday morning, we're nice and clear. That's 7 a.m. We pause it at 4 and starting to see a shower or two north of Durham with some cloud cover. We'll pause it again at 7, and you can see some scattered rain from, say, Raleigh back over towards Southern Pines, and then it's out of here pretty quickly. So I do feel like it's going to move in and out fairly fast. Some clouds on Sunday morning, but then we're clearing before lunchtime. So just that yellow on there there for outdoor plans on Saturday with that chance of a stray shower during the evening. After that, we warm up. Look at that, 91 on Wednesday, 92 on Thursday. We'll talk about if this is a little bit early for 90-degree temperatures, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We continue to see that heavy congestion on I-40 westbound coming in around Johnston County. It's the Clayton bypass and Business 70 right now. Depending on where you're coming from, you might just want to take Business 70 or Clayton bypass as an alternate route. Once you get past that, you get to the southern loop of the Beltline. Boy, things have really eased up quite a bit there on that southern loop of the Beltline as we look live at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. So right now, between Highway 36 and the Beltline coming in from Garner, Johnston County, you're looking at a 7-minute delay. So things are getting a little better in that particular area. No delays whatsoever on that southern loop of the Beltline. So that's really good news. As we widen out the view, very little to no delays on all of our major routes heading into the Raleigh-Ray County area.
All right, your time now is 8:23. Still ahead, climbing prices. This morning, new information about how quickly costs are going up. Our first glimpse into the impact the war on Iran is having on what you pay at the grocery store. Plus, the astronauts return. We're looking forward to the Artemis 2 mission splashdown happening tonight.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It is 8:26 and we have a beautiful weekend ahead of us. Let's get right to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner to tell us about some 80-degree temperatures we'll feel.
Yeah, looking at Saturday and Sunday, warming up into the 80s. We take a live look at North Hills right now with all this sunshine. Looks absolutely beautiful. It's on the cool side out there. 43 in Southern Pines, 45 in Raleigh and Durham, and 48 in Wilson. Not as chilly as it was yesterday, but we're going to warm up nicely today. Temperatures climb into the upper 70s. It's Friday, so if you have a chance to take the kids out with their bikes on the Greenway, temperatures are in the 70s all the way up until 7 p.m. Ken?
Back with the trouble spot that we're seeing on I-40 westbound coming in out of Johnston County. It's really between the Clayton bypass and Business Highway 70 business this morning. So depending on where you're coming from there in Johnston County, you might just want to use Business 70 as an alternate route. I'll have another update on your morning commute at the bottom of the hour.
SUV was badly damaged in an overnight crash in northern Wake County. It happened just after 11:45 last night at NC 96 and NC 98 near the Franklin County border. We're working to learn if any other vehicles were involved and if anyone was hurt. And this morning, a key economic report will show us how the war on Iran affects the prices you pay. Today's inflation report could show a month-to-month increase of a whole percentage point. The last time we saw a big change like that was back in 2022. The report is scheduled to be released in just about 30 minutes at 8, or just minutes rather, at 8:30. And splashes down tonight. And up next on Today, Michelle Pfeiffer talks Margot's got money troubles and the Madison.
Lockdown lifted at East Garner Middle School. It only lasted 15 minutes. We'll tell you what we've learned about the circumstances that led to the lockdown.
Today looks gorgeous, but we've added some showers to the forecast for Saturday. I'll help you plan around the showers for Saturday, and I'll let you know when highs climb into the 90s.
Talks to begin. Negotiations between the U.S. and Iran are set to start tomorrow morning. The shaky state of the ceasefire in the Middle East ahead of the peace talks.
Climbing prices this morning, new information about how quickly costs are going up. Our first glimpse into the impact the war on Iran is having on what you pay at the grocery store.
This half hour on Fox 50, we always appreciate your time. I'm Ken Smith.
Yeah, I'm Kirsten Clark. As you mentioned, Ken, that CGI report, the negotiations with the war on Iran, just a lot to talk about today. But also, we can talk about those 80-degree temperatures we're supposed to feel this weekend. I'm so excited for that. Let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner to tell us when we might even feel the 90s.
What we need to know about the weekend is Saturday we have the chance of some isolated showers in the evening. And I know there are a lot of events going on out there. We didn't have this in the forecast this time yesterday, but during the evening, we added that to the forecast. It's just likely to be some scattered showers. We have high pressure in control of our weather right now. That's going to keep things dry for today. But here comes that front. As it drops closer to that high will help to weaken it and break it apart somewhat, but not completely. So we'll talk more about the timeline for those showers coming up. Taking a look outside right now, it's beautiful in Pinehurst. Lots of folks out enjoying some nice weather. It's cool. I see a lot of people in shorts right now, but it's only 45 degrees. That sunshine makes it feel nice and warm, though. 49 in Clinton, 45 Durham, 41 in Roxborough. So temperatures have started to creep up. We'll make it all the way into the upper 70s for highs this afternoon, and it stays mild into the evening. It's Friday. Hopefully you can get out and enjoy a little bit of it. Then we climb into the 80s over the weekend. We'll walk through it coming up. Ken?
Busy week for golfers. The Masters happening right now in Augusta. Well, here at home, here's what we're looking at, really. This troubled spot here in Johnston County, I-40 westbound between the Clayton Bypass and Business 70 this morning. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic that we're seeing there. Your best bet if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, or even from parts of Clayton, you probably should take Business 70 as an alternate route. Just avoid that section of I-40 right now. Well, check it out. Things are getting really a lot better at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, the southern loop of the Beltline, which is really good news this time of the morning. We're not seeing any delays whatsoever on that southern loop of the Beltline. So getting back to that situation in Johnston County around Clayton on I-40 westbound, you're looking at a 7-minute delay if you're coming into town this morning. So just plan accordingly and take advantage of Business 70 as an alternate route. As for other routes coming into the Raleigh-Wake County area, just a 3-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning in US 1, and just a 1-minute delay on I-87 coming in out of Nightdale. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, we're following breaking news. Students and staff at East Garner Middle School are safe after a brief lockdown this morning. This is a live look at the school entrance. Here's what we've learned in a text and email blast to parents. School officials say that at 7:15 this morning, they got a report of someone possibly armed near campus. They immediately went into code red lockdown. Garner police came out, searched the building, searched the area, and then 15 minutes later at 7:30 this morning, police gave the all clear. So the lockdown lasted only. Officials say they will proceed with a normal day of teaching and learning. We'll continue to follow this for you, though, here in the WRAL Live Center.
An SUV was badly damaged in a crash overnight in northern Wake County. It happened just after 11:45 last night at NC 96 and NC 98. That's near the Franklin County border. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as a tow truck took away an SUV with serious front end damage. And we're working to learn if any other vehicles were involved in that crash and if anyone was hurt. New overnight, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will begin negotiations with Lebanon. This comes after multiple strikes on Lebanon threatened the collapse of a ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. Iran says the strikes killed hundreds of people and were a violation of the ceasefire agreement. The U.S. and Israel insisted Lebanon was not a part of the ceasefire, though a mediator in Pakistan says it was. This comes as talks to end the war are planned for tomorrow morning in Islamabad. Vice President J.D. Vance is set to lead the U.S. delegation. Meanwhile, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and multiple Democrats yesterday vowed to force another war powers resolution vote. Jeffries says they plan to discuss the president's accountability in a private meeting happening today. Let's take a look at local gas prices. They're down slightly this morning as the situation in the Middle East unfolds. New data from AAA shows the average in Raleigh is down 1 cent to $3.96. In Fayetteville, it's down 1 cent to $3.95. And in Goldsboro, it's down 3 cents to $3.90.
Right now, we are just over 12 hours away from the Artemis II crew splashing down right back here on Earth. The Orion spacecraft set to splash down off the coast of San Diego, California. U.S. naval ships are already standing by off that coast to pick up that crew. Now, in a press conference last night, NASA says it is confident in the spacecraft in re-entry systems and everything is good to go.
Every system we've demonstrated over the past 9 days, life support, navigation, propulsion, communications, all of it depends on the final minutes of flight. We have high confidence in the system, in the heat shield, and the parachutes, and the recovery systems we put together.
It's such a precision mechanism. After tonight's splashdown, recovery teams will pick the crew up in helicopters and take them to a Navy ship. There, the crew will undergo medical evaluations before traveling back to shore and reuniting with their families. So we've got you covered. You can watch Artemis II return to Earth tonight on WRAL and WRAL's YouTube page. Coverage begins at 8 p.m.
Well, Apex police are investigating after someone left graffiti depicting hateful messages in a shopping plaza. People pointed out the vandalism on a building in Beaver Creek Commons earlier this week. The pictures are too harsh to show, and the graffiti includes racist, homophobic, and anti-Semitic words and symbols. Apex Mayor Jacques Gilbert tells WRAL the message doesn't represent the town.
Well, a man charged after shots were fired outside Raleigh's Triangle Town Center made his first court appearance. A judge set a bond of $50,000 for Trazion Dean. He faces charges linked to a police chase caught on dash cam video. Raleigh police say someone inside the red truck Dean was driving opened fire on a group of men in the Triangle Town Center parking lot. The chase ended when the truck hit a utility pole at US 1 in Cary. Wake Forest, I should say.
A fire that ripped across farmland in Cumberland County and shut down roads for hours is out this morning. It happened near Sandy Point Road in Fayetteville. You can see smoke that can be seen from miles away. And crews from the city of Fayetteville, Cumberland County, and North Carolina Forestry rushed to extinguish those flames that spread fast in dangerously dry conditions. The landowner, that's Joe Gillis, says the fire caused hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage.
Approximately 600 round bales burned, and the tractor and the hay baler burned. Probably $225,000 to $50,000 worth of equipment.
Just devastating. Although the fire was costly, Gillis says the important thing is that no one was hurt.
Well, this weekend, the town of Chapel Hill expecting tens of thousands of visitors as the world-famous Savannah Bananas take on the Texas Tailgaters at Kenan Stadium. WRAL's Ali Kadlamar is in downtown Chapel Hill explaining what you need to know before you head out to Chapel Hill this weekend.
The town of Chapel Hill says they're preparing for 50,000 visitors this weekend, so you can expect a lot of people, traffic, and a lot of businesses showing their support. It's the Savannah Bananas' first appearance in Kenan Stadium, part of their Banana Ball tour. Both games are sold out, and the town of Chapel Hill says they've been preparing for months. There's expected to be extra traffic around UNC campus and downtown. Stadium Drive will be closed from Friday evening through Sunday. Businesses in the area are welcoming the Savannah Bananas and their fans. At least 30 are offering menu specials or deals. The town of Chapel Hill says they are ready for a lot of excitement.
It's like having a doubleheader football game that we have in the falls, but 2 days in a row, which never has happened. So this is the time of year where I think, we're a little bit slow on foot traffic, so we're really excited to have both those events.
And you can read everything you need to know and more on WRAL.com. Reporting in Chapel Hill, Ali Kadlamar, WRAL News.
If you have Savannah Banana fever, we've got the remedy. We're covering this story from start to finish on our news starting at 4 this evening. We will have extensive coverage of the Savannah Bananas visit to Chapel Hill that will include everything you need to know about traffic in the area, as well as the basics of Banana Ball.
A new inclusive playground will open this weekend in Cary. The park was designed with several physical, sensory, and social experiences for children. The Davis Drive playground was renovated thanks to donations from a family. The project is part of town efforts to improve accessibility. And over in Holly Springs, leaders there are in the early stages of designing a new public park. The 7-acre park will be near the intersection of Avent Ferry and Rex Roads. It's part of a new development near Harris Lake, and it will be the first public park led by a private developer. It is 8:40. Coming up here, mural sparking questions. A mural of a woman stabbed to death on a Charlotte light rail train recently showed up on the side of this building. The worries from neighbors about how her death is being viewed.
Also, more help after Helene. More money just got earmarked for Western North Carolina. The next steps in trying to put the mountain communities back together.
And we're looking at just a small chance of rain this weekend. It'll be Saturday evening. The rain will move in and out very quickly, but we'll go over the timeline and I'll let you know who's more likely to see the showers. It's 8:44, very exciting space news. The Artemis 2 splashdown countdown. Now 11 hours and 22 minutes before the capsule lands in the Pacific Ocean. A couple of things that they're watching. They're watching the waves. You can see 4-foot seas, 5-foot seas. There's an 80-mile radius off the coast of San Diego that the capsule will likely land in. So the wave heights are a little on the high side, but not so much that it looks like it will alter the splashdown or cancel it or move it. A little bit of cloud cover. The forecasters were worried earlier about some rain, but it looks like it's going to be dry for the splashdown there. So it looks like all systems go in about 11 hours. And we can't wait to hear from Christina Cook and all the other astronauts about that amazing journey. This afternoon, we're looking at lovely weather, sunshine. Our high this afternoon, 78. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that situation. On I-40 westbound there in Johnston County, we're talking about this slowdown that we have right now between the Clayton Bypass and Business 70 right now. So depending on where you're coming from this morning, you might want to take Business 70 as an alternate route. We're working to figure out exactly what's causing this slowdown. I'll have another update in about 10 minutes.
Right now in the WRAL Live Center, a key inflation report just released shows that inflation rose 3.3% in March, and that's as expected. This marks the fastest annual pace in nearly 2 years. A big reason for that, energy prices that spiked because of the war on Iran. It is worth noting that this is the first consumer price index report since the war started. It reveals how the war has disrupted energy supplies and how that affects American cost of living. Now, we will see how the stock market reacts to this new data when they open in the next hour.
And another quick traffic update here. If you drive I-87, you already know there's a major construction project underway, and you're likely to continue experiencing those traffic backups. It's all part of phase 2 of the Complete 540 project. Sky 5 was over the area. You can see I-87 and the future 540 interchange. Crews are working to finish the final 10 miles of the greater 540 loop. I-87 North will be closed between Hodge Road and Smithfield Road starting at 11 p.m. tonight. The road will reopen at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and the project is expected to be fully completed by 2028. The U.S. Postal Service has a new strategy to save money. Starting today, it will stop contributing to worker pensions. The agency's chief financial officer says postal operations could suffer if costs don't get cut. Mail carrier unions are asking for a different solution that doesn't impact their benefits.
A Connecticut mural depicting the woman who was killed on a Charlotte light rail raising eyebrows. The mural is of Irina Zarutsky on the side of a brownstone in New Haven. People say it suddenly appeared last week. The mural is part of a program run by Remember Irina, a group that organizes these murals in cities like Chicago, Washington, D.C., New York, and others. Some say they're worried her death is being used for political reasons.
It's sad the way she died, but it's also a little bit odd with how people are using it as a political statement.
He was charged in her death earlier this week. He was found incompetent to stand trial.
Western North Carolina is getting more than $4 million for park projects after Hurricane Helene. The money is from the Disaster Recovery Act of 2025, Part 2. Governor Josh Stein signed it into law in June last year at the reopening celebration of Chimney Rock State Park. Funding will go to the towns of Banner, Elk, and Beech Mountain, as well as Buncombe County and other locations. There are so many parts of Western North Carolina still waiting to be made whole again. The WRAL documentary unit took an in-depth look at where things stand in the mountains in a recent documentary titled Helene, What We Lost and What We Found. You can watch it on the WRAL YouTube page.
Today's entertainment news ranges from Broadway to ballet and a new way to watch movies at home. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Pink is headed to Broadway. The performer and theater fanatic is set to host this year's Tony Awards. Pink said in a statement, "Broadway has shaped my life and how I put my own shows together," and called stage actors the literal hardest working people in showbiz. The 79th annual Tony Awards take place June 7th. The Royal Ballet's performance of Giselle is coming to a movie theater near you. The tragic love story screens on Sunday and Monday only. Check fathomentertainment.com for locations and showtimes.
The owner's having a little trouble, I guess, and I'm here to clean it up.
Prime Video is expanding its on-screen sign language interpretation. It's now available on 18 more Prime original movies, such as Roadhouse and Red, White, and Royal Blue. On-screen interpreters' facial expressions and body language can provide more nuance than captions alone. You can scroll to the accessible movies and TV collection on Prime. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A reminder, this year's host of the Tony Awards.
And a new rom-com comes out today. I'm very excited about that. Here's a look at what's trending. The new movie stars Halle Bailey as a girl down on her luck, and she meets an eligible Italian bachelor and is whisked away to a villa in Tuscany. To stay in Italy, she ends up lying about an engagement to stay. While planning a fake wedding, she actually falls in love with Regé Jean Piaget's character. How can you not fall in love? The fiance's cousin. Oh.
Is that a scandal or what?
Oh my goodness. And he was so great on Bridgerton.
Yeah.
So I would love to see more of him in this movie.
It's going to be a fun movie to watch. And if you love Italy, you got to love this movie. So listen, singer Pink will get the party started on Broadway's biggest night. She will host the 2026 Tony Awards live from Radio City Music Hall in June. The singer moved to New York to support her 15-year-old daughter Willow's passion for theater and Broadway experiences. Of course, the nominations for the 2026 Tony Awards will be announced Tuesday, May 5th.
All right, Ken, thank you. Elizabeth, I had my winter jacket on this morning, but we can get rid of that for a little bit coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, definitely. So it's still chilly this morning. Yesterday we got all the way down to 32, so not quite as chilly, but I came in my puffy coat this morning too. It's beautiful out there in Pittsburgh right now, and we'll continue to see this pretty weather. 45 is our current temperature, so definitely on the cool side. But we'll be at nearly 70 by lunchtime and almost 80 by this afternoon. So we warm up fast. Right now we're still holding on to 38 in Chapel Hill, but it's 51 in Clayton, 45 in Morrisville, 43 right now in Holly Springs. Temperatures are running anywhere from 5 to about 10 degrees or so above where they were this time yesterday. So we're starting to see that warm up. Upper 70s to nearly 80 degrees for highs this afternoon with lots of sunshine. Now, the only thing that we're really watching for over the weekend, we're definitely going to see some really nice warm temperatures, but there's a small chance that we could see some showers on Saturday. The timeline for that's likely to be between 5 and around 10 p.m. It's just a small chance, 20%, but it looks like the rain will start in the north and drop down to the south. So if you are heading out to the Savannah Bananas or have any other outdoor plans on Saturday, I would take along some rain gear. We're not looking at a lot of thunderstorms with this, but it'll just be some fairly quick showers moving on through. High pressure continues to build in across our area as we get into next week, and that continues to bump up our temperatures. We have a good chance of above normal temperatures all the way into next week and potentially beyond. We could hit the first 90-degree day at RDU on Wednesday and or Thursday. Our normal first 90-degree day of the year at RDU happens around May 18th, so we're a little more than a month ahead of that, but it's not the earliest. The earliest was March 12th and the latest June 27th. Checking out that 7-day forecast, we just see a gradual jump in our temperature. So 80s for Saturday and Sunday, and then 91 on Wednesday and Thursday. Not only will it be the first 90-degree day of the year at RDU, but also very close to record highs.
All right, before we go to break here are the winning lottery numbers, and we'll get another check on the weather and traffic coming up next.